Hey, greetings and salutations. This is Dr. Kenneth Phelps, and I would like to welcome you to the IMANI podcast. I am the pastor, the senior pastor of the Concord Missionary Baptist Church, located in the city of Chicago, Illinois. I'm also the author of several books. My latest book is entitled And Justice for All. You should pick it up. You can go to Amazon.com, or you can go to our website at www.imanirighterscohort and go to our bookstore, where all of our books and all of our writers' books are on sale, but you can get it. I promise it'll be a blessing to you. I'm also the president and CEO of, of IMANI, IMANI Faith Productions, and also IMANI Writers Cohort. And I am the host of IMANI Podcast. Hey, listen, thanks for tuning in. Do me a favor, if you don't mind, go ahead and subscribe to our channel. Whether you're looking at it through Facebook, you go ahead and just like our page. If you're on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe, or if you're on our website, go ahead and subscribe to the website, again, at www.imanirighterscohort.com. Listen, for those who are tuning in for the first time, this podcast features and showcases IMANI artists, writers, industry colleagues, and professionals, and other creatives. The goal of the IMANI podcast is to be a platform for content creators, industry professionals, creatives, to share their knowledge, their wisdom, their best practices, and also, their work product. So hopefully you'll go out and you'll purchase it, but it's really honestly designed to motivate, to inspire, and to help you fulfill your dreams. So listen, I want you to just tag somebody. I want you to call somebody. I want you to text somebody. Let them know that the IMANI podcast is on. Hey, listen, we also want you to please interact with us. Go ahead and type in the comments field if you have questions, or if you really are feeling what we're doing. Go ahead and give us some hearts, give us some thumbs, give us some likes. Again, we want engagement, all right? And listen, I am so excited today to have, again, my special guest, my goddaughter. She is attorney, corporate counsel, an author, a businesswoman, blogger, writer. Again, she's my beloved daughter, in whom I really am. I am so proud of her. But anyway, she's old enough. I want you to welcome attorney Victoria Watkins to IMANI Podcast. Go ahead and give her some loves, give her some hugs, give her some thumbs up. Just again, Victoria, so much welcome. Thank you so very much for being my guest.
Hi. Thank you so much for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, I am too. You surprised me when I first saw you, back in the green room, the virtual green room, and I saw your hair and I saw the lipstick and all that stuff. I said, oh, my Victoria's growing up now. Because I remember when you was little Victoria, you know what I'm saying? So, but anyway, I don't want to, tell it. But we're family, right? We're family. And, and of course, we're going to give a shout out to my brother Michael and Valerie, Watkins, who, again, we're going to be hanging out in a couple of weeks. We go on vacations together, and we're just family, so we celebrate all kinds of life events. And so, but I don't want to, listen, I want you to introduce yourself. For those who don't know who you are, why don't you just take a moment to share with them?
Well, again, thank you for having me. And I think you covered most everything. I am a lawyer from Chicago. I currently am working in asset management. I work for Ariel Investments. And prior to, I'm chief of staff at Ariel Investments to one of our co-CEOs. And prior to that, I worked in the Chicago mayor's office. I worked for Mayor Rahm Emanuel. Worked for him for almost his entire term. And I led legislative affairs at the state government level. So I spent many days and nights in Springfield, in our state capital, protecting the interests of the people of Chicago. Before that, I actually worked in the state legislature for the House Democrats legal team. Um, what else? What else? I wrote a children's book. It's called Little Valerie and Her Big World of Options. And I have a loose leaf tea collection called Joy and Magic. And we have 10 flavors, a variety of curated teas, loose leaf teas, as I mentioned. And we also have some recipes where you can take your tea up a level so that you can, make your tea not just tea. So there's quite a few recipes for those, and some more coming. So look out for some new things coming with Joy and Magic soon.
Wow, wow. Well, we're gonna touch base on all of those. We're gonna touch base, but here my first question, just out of the box, because when I really see people, I mean, almost to be honest with you, everything I've been watching your career, basically all your life, and I'll be honest with you, you're like a Renaissance woman to me, because everything that you seem to touch, it seems to turn to gold. It seems to really prosper. And so my first question is, attorney, chief of staff, author, entrepreneur, blogger, all of these things, how do you find time, literally, to do all these things?
That's a good question, and it's one that I usually don't have an answer for, other than the fact that I'm very dependent on my calendar and my reminders, and I will do pretty much whatever my phone tells me to do. So when a reminder or an alert goes off, I'm like, okay, whatever it says, I planned this before, so I'm gonna go ahead and do whatever it is when I pick it up and read it. But it really comes down to time management for me, and I feel like, honestly, as I think back about it, my life has always been this way. When I was growing up, I was always into different lessons. I mean, I did swimming, ballet, tap dance, gymnastics. I played the piano. I did ice skating. Then I started playing basketball. I still keep my air pennies in my trunk just in case. I did student council. Like, I would just always do any and everything. I'm softball. I'm sure I'm missing some things, but I mean, you talk about my parents, like they would let me do a lot of things. So I'm kind of used to always having a lot of balls in the air. And I actually went to law school in the evening and worked at Kraft Foods during the day after undergrad. So yeah, I think I'm just used to doing a lot of things. And however, I just always make sure that it gets done somehow. But I am working on sometimes making sure that I'm tapping out too. So.
Well, well, you know what? Again, I know your family, right? So, again, your parents have a tremendous work ethic, and
Yeah.
so I'm sure that you, because again, I'm really thinking about that Marine right now.
Well, yes, yes, yes. Working double time. Yeah,
Yeah,
double
yeah. So
shift.
you
Yes.
have the best of both worlds. You have, that work ethic from Michael, and you have your generosity, your kindness, your love for reading and all of that stuff from mom. So it's the best of both worlds. So let's dig into it. Author. Okay, the book, Little Valerie and Her Big World of Options. What is the book about?
So the little girl in the book is named after my mom. And she is a little girl who is just really excited and eager about learning. She is enthusiastic about school. And in this story, so the plan is to make this into a series. So there'll be other stories, but we want to get as much promotion out of this first one first, and then we'll do more. But she goes to school, and on this day, she is learning about numbers. And she asked her teacher, what can I be when I grow up? if I like numbers. And her teacher tells her all of these different options of the things that she can be when she grows up. And she's really excited and, just, kind of overwhelmed with all of the things that are the possibilities before her. And so after school, she gets in the car and she tells her dad how excited she is and she can't wait to get home and tell her mom about it. And so the purpose really is to make sure that little kids know how many options they have. And no matter what their situation or circumstance is, there are endless options for them in their world. And so I'm definitely working to make sure that that book gets that message across to them.
So, is this, where did the inspiration for this come from? I mean, was this an experience? Was this, you know, where did the idea come from? Where did you get the concept?
It was actually something that took me way too long to put together because it had been in my mind and on my heart for quite a while. And I remember watching the 2016 Olympics and seeing so many great stories of certainly women, guys too, but definitely women who had overcome many things and all of a sudden now they are gold medalists. And so that motivated me even further because I wanted to do something that encouraged children early on to know that they could do many, many things and they didn't have to be pigeonholed into whatever, the world around them said that they had to do. And that really kind of spurred it for me. So I actually was getting an oil change one day and hand wrote the story. And then it took me another few months and another few months and I then typed it out. Another few months, asked my friend to edit it. Another few months. I live in a city. I'm sorry about the sirens. It's nothing I can do. I live
Yeah,
two
because
blocks from the
I'm like
fire
really
station.
scared
I'm
right now. I'm
sorry.
like, oh my God, what is going
So
on here?
sorry. So, um, but yeah, and then I got with a friend of mine. She's an amazing illustrator. She also did the logo for Joy and Magic, and she did the logo for my blog. And she put my words into pictures and did an amazing job. So it really took me about a year and a half to get everything together. And as I said, the little girl is named after my mom. So I really had to put my foot on the pedal to get a print copy because I wanted to give it to her when she got an award.
I was
And the
there.
award was the day after her birthday. Yes. So I
Yep.
wanted to give her at least a demo at that point. So me and my illustrator, we had to really hustle to get that done. But that was the inspiration. And of course, anything reading related, I think first about my mom and I really also just wanted to immortalize her. So,
Wow. Well, you know what? You've already done that, in more than one way. Because again, we are all also proud of you, in the work that you've done. But I was there. I was there, and I remember
yes.
seeing the pride and joy of her, receiving that precious gift, and it was very emotional and touching for me. But I don't want to start crying now. So let's keep it rolling. Keep it rolling.
Yeah.
So, are there any other books? I mean, you said that there are some things on the horizon. I mean, are you in the writing process now, or when do you think you're going to get back to doing this?
Um, so I have like an outline of future stories. My best PR person, who is my mom, is waiting for the next story. She said that, little kids in her district who have read the book are waiting. Uh, but so the plans are in place. But I gotta, like I said, I want to do a bit more promo on the first story, but there will be more stories to come for sure. Little Valerie is not done, and she'll be around doing some more things very soon.
And for those who would like to get a copy of the book, how could
You
they?
can order Little Valerie on my website. It is littlevалeriebigworld.com.
Okay, and I'll give that information again, but repeat it again one more time.
Littlevалeriebigworld.com.
So, again, the other thing that is of interest to me is, again, in terms of writing, you have a lot of blogs. You have a fashion, a law blog. You also have a tea time. I think it's tea time. It's called tea
Yes.
time. So again, so you are writing, or how, how's that going for you? Talk about your blogging, and how do you get
It's
inspiration? How do you determine what to write about? For
Yeah.
those that may be interested
So
in blogging.
my fashion law blog is a fashion law, and it started off as fashion law and grew into lifestyle as well. And I began writing that because I thought for sure I was going to be a fashion lawyer when I came out of law school. And I came out of law school at the right at the height of the market downturn, so that wasn't as realistic as I thought. But it did get me into working in government, which was something I didn't plan, but really enjoyed. But I started doing research and writing in fashion and entertainment and creative law in general. And so that's why I started the blog. And at the time, there were a lot of other law students and new law grads who were doing the same thing. And so we kind of, created this like fashion law family, and we would post for each other and write about our research and things like that. And so that's how the Baffled blog got started. And Baffled is an acronym for business advice, fashion facts, law, and entertainment domain. And that was to give me the
Woo!
latitude to write about any of those things so that I didn't have to be so strict into one lane. I was writing on it 2 to 3 times a week initially for a long time, maybe probably 6, 7 years, and definitely in the last 2, 3 years, it hasn't been quite as much, just as I've had to, switch gears to other things. But I think there's still a lot of good, useful information on there, information and tools for creatives that has not changed. So I definitely still encourage people to take a look at it, although you won't see too recent of a post. And I've had some guest bloggers also right there. So that's always been good with other people to be able to encourage each other to write and post for each other. And then the Tea Times, that is Tea Talks rather, is a blog that is just connected to my Joy and Magic website. And a lot of those articles are about how tea can fit into different parts of your life, whether it's wellness or self care or just, sipping tea while you watch TV. And just the many different uses for tea and just a lot of self care in general. So.
So let me ask you this. I mean, I've been in, as you know, been in the music business, followed by publishing business for a while. And like I said, since 1999. And one of the things that I see with a lot of creatives is they're doing a lot of creation of stuff, but they're doing it, without legal advice. They're doing it without legal counsel. Let me ask this just off the cuff. I mean, why is it? Do you think it's important for creatives to have counsel? And if so, why?
I think it's very important because certainly now in a global economy and with social media, when you can literally reach someone across the world in 1 second and you can reach millions of people within minutes, it's very important. And I know definitely as a creative myself, which I have trouble sometimes thinking of myself as a creative because I think lawyer first, but I know that you're whatever it is you're creating, whether it is music or literature, art of any other sort, it is something very personal to you, and you do not want other people using it without your permission or in ways that you don't appreciate or that you haven't authorized. And it is really important to protect yourself in that way. And it has gotten more difficult because of the internet and because of social media, but it is really important to one, know what your rights and authorities are as a creative and what everyone else's rights and authority happen to be as well. And so that's why I do think it's important to seek legal counsel and just understand all of those things. Understand the difference between a copyright and a trademark and a patent because all three are very different. And it is essential to, you don't want to intermingle those terms. And, like I said, when I That was the main thing I studied in undergrad. I'm sorry, in law school. And when I hear people mix them up, I'm like, no, that is not it. So, but it's important. Certainly, if you are a creative, you need to know, which is which and what you need which one for, how the registrations work, and how long your protections are. Um, applicable, and all of those things. It's really important to know those particulars, as well as particulars with licensing and other forms of use of what you have created. So if your creation is near and dear to you, you want to know exactly how to protect it and also how to profit from it too.
Come on, somebody. Listen, are there any and again, I don't know if these even exist, but are there any like non-for-profit creative um, non-for-profit like legal services for creatives that you are aware of that we can share with our audience?
Yes, I would definitely say one of the best ones is Lawyers for the Creative Arts, or LCA. They have a lot of really wonderful workshops and seminars. And of course, many of them, all of them actually over the last year have been virtual, but they do also sometimes have in person events as well. They have specific events and workshops for nonprofit organizations, generally speaking. If you're going to start a nonprofit, or maybe if you're already on a board, they have different tips and things that you should know and be aware of. Also, the same for each of the different types of creative protections. So Lawyers for the Creative Arts has a lot of really good resources, and also good resources for lawyers, especially if you need CLE, and we only have a few more days to get those done if you're in the end of the alphabet and reporting this year.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. Let's shift now. Again, we talked about the attorney side of you. We talked a little bit about the author side of you. Now let's go into this entrepreneur, this this businesswoman. Listen, again, I'm still, this joy and magic tea. We talked about this. In fact, we
Yes.
was on vacation. It's amazing to me because we talked about this many years ago while we were on vacation,
Mm-hmm.
and then me and your dad had sidebar conversation without you.
Oh goodness.
I guess I can tell it now because it's there.
I
But
know they happen, so I don't
yeah,
know
they
how to
have.
know when, but I know they happen.
Yeah, we had a conversation about you, and we were going back and forth with it. And so, man, and so I guess you did your thing. I mean, obviously, uh, well, when we initially talked about it, it was going to be a spot, in the hood, and we were trying to determine whether or not people that have been kissed by the sun, whether or not they would go into teas and stuff like that. So we were going back and forth, and you was like, "Yes, my people will do it. Yes, they will." And so you've done it. So talk a little bit about your joy and magic tea.
Yes. So I am a very, very, very avid tea drinker, and that goes back to when I was growing up. My great grandmother, who, speaking of naming folks and being named after book characters or whatever, I'm named after my great grandmother, and she used to watch me when I was little, and when she would have her coffee, she would make tea for me. And so tea has always been one of my main like drinks of choice. I'm not too much of a coffee drinker, but I always drink tea. And as I was figuring out kind of my next steps, knowing that was going to be leaving the mayor's office soon, I knew I wanted to um, open my tea shop. And so I was talking to a friend of mine about it, and she was saying, "Well, obviously you have to have your own tea line if you're going to have a brick and mortar tea shop." And I was like, "Oh yeah, well that makes sense." And it also is not necessarily easier, but definitely simpler to start an online tea shop before trying to stand up a brick and mortar. So I said I would do that first, and then or do that first, and then shortly after try to open the brick and mortar, which today, as we're still
What,
in
you
the
gonna do
pandemic.
drinking water too? What's drinking? You selling water too? What's I,
No.
okay. I guess I'll hear about that on vacation. We're going on vacation in about 2 or 3 weeks, and so we're gonna be hearing about Victoria's water.
But as we're getting, close to the end of the pandemic, I'm actually glad right now that I don't have a brick and mortar just yet, because it might have been grand opening, grand closing, but but it's still on the list. But as I was telling another friend about, we were talking about how it would look and feel on the inside, um, and that we wanted to have local artists be able to sell their creations and display their work and things like that. And I told her I wanted it to be feel like Black boy joy and Black girl magic. And then it hit me. I was like, oh, that's it, joy and magic. And so then put on my lawyer hat. I went and did a search to make sure that that name was not being used, and certainly that it wasn't being used in the tea space. And did like I said, all my legal things that I needed to do to get that up and running, and and started from there, picking flavors. And again, my illustrator who did the pictures for my book, she came up with this great logo. And I've been working with this amazing branding person. Actually, both of their names are Rachel. But they are wonderful. And I just have been trying to build it from there. So keep going with joy and magic.
Wow. You know what? When you said that, immediately, again, it just goes back to what me and your dad were talking about, and we were kind of envisioning this. And man, so this is really exciting. So talk to us about, so you got your line of tea. What was really involved? I mean, how do you do that? Do you create it? Do you work with other people? I mean, have you gone out and just say, hey, I like your tea, I want to put my name on it? Or do you literally taste it? Because I know you got 10 flavors. It's 10
Mm-hmm.
flavors, right?
10 flavors, yes.
Yeah, so you got 10 flavors. How did you determine what flavors, and how do you make that? And again, I got ideas about how we can take it up another level, but how we can create our own, but we'll take that
Well, that was
offline.
one of the ways that I wanted to, definitely make it different from other teas, was to take your tea up a level. And so we got the recipes for that. But getting to the point of the 10 flavors, I was thinking about, so Joy and Magic is a loose leaf tea collection created with purpose and wellness in mind. So each of the flavors has a purpose, and also with has a distinct purpose, but then also a general purpose of wellness, because tea is inherently healthy. So some of the teas are inherently healthy, but their main purpose is like they taste good. But because it is tea, and then because it's natural and organic, you also get the health benefits, whether it's antioxidants, or maybe it's a calming tea, or a tea that helps with symptoms of many sorts. A tea that can give you some energy. We have black teas and green teas, which are caffeinated. So they can give you a little bit of energy, not a super jolt like, an espresso or anything, but can take you up smoothly so that, you won't then crash. And then I also have decaffeinated teas too, which can help you to calm down, or also uh, help you get to sleep a bit.
Wow. Okay. And how do we get these teas?
You can get the teas at joyandmagictea.com.
Joyandmagictea.com. And look, you can remember that, joyandmagictea.com.
Joy and
Now you
yes.
also I saw it, I did my research. It's also in Yorktown Mall too,
Yes, yes.
So that's a
So,
little bit further from where I was thinking,
yeah,
on the west
yeah.
side. But
That's not where the brick and mortar was or will be, but
yeah.
it is in Windy City Teas, which is a very, very nice tea shop in Yorktown Mall in Lombard. And so we are in there with many other, tea friends. Um, but so if anybody is shopping and or dining or anything like that in Lombard, definitely stop by Windy City Tea and check out Joy and Magic. But again, you can also check us out at joyandmagictea.com. And all of the flavors are available there online. And if you order a flavor that has a certain recipe, you will get a recipe card that lets you know how you can take your tea up a level.
Okay,
Now,
off
most
my.
of those recipes do include spirits. um, but there is one that has the option. So there will be other recipes that are not paired with spirits that's coming. But there is one, our cold magic tea, which is, I would like to call it the fixer elixir. And there are many things you can put into that tea, and you do not have to include a spirit, but you can.
Thank you so much for that. Again, I love this. I love this. Black. I love this. I
Thank you.
love this. I love this. So now, finally, I want to talk a little bit, and this may catch you. You do some non for profit stuff, which I'm really so proud of this. Again, with your project style, um, are you still doing that, or where are we with that? Because again, I
Yeah.
thought that was some really critical work that you were involved in.
Yeah, so with Project Style, we do workshops for young women in middle school and probably I would say early high school as well on confidence and self worth. And so we have a workbook and curriculum that we take them through, as well as short form programs, like if we are invited to a youth summit or a workshop day or something like that, or like one time events. Over the last year, we have not only changed some of our programming, but added new programming to be virtual because we had to. But we have been going into schools and again, attending youth summits or um, different events that other organizations were hosting, whether it was churches or also the Status of Women and Girls Summit that the Chicago City Clerk's Office was doing. We got to participate when she had her last in person event and then also with the virtual event earlier this year. So we are still doing that work. And in addition to the workshops on confidence and self worth, we talk about body shaming, we talk about social media, healthy self esteem, all of the things that are really important on the inside for young women to be the best that they can be on the outside, whether it is increasing their participation in the classroom or participating in extracurricular activities and just really building their confidence. And we have seen major change in young women over the course of time that they have participated in our programs. We also partnered, not summer of 2020, but summer of 2019 with Social Work Chicago, Chance the Rapper's organization, and their Kids of the Kingdom summer camp program. So that was a great experience too. And what also one of the things that we do is either at the end of our series or depending on how the one-time events are set up, we set up a pop-up shop and we are constantly taking clothing donations. We actually get a lot of new clothes, which is really great, but we get some good gently used items as well, clothing and accessories. And so we set up a pop-up shop for the girls. We have a range of styles, any and everything. We've gotten guys who have donated button ups, and there are girls who are like, let me get a button up. Can I get a tie? And there's other girls who are like, if you don't have ball gowns, I don't want it. So we have the entire spectrum of, styles and uh, um, kind of personal looks. And it is not specifically a fashion organization, but it is an organization that helps women to see their personal style through clothing, but not only through clothing. And we also have, sometimes we get donations that are not necessarily compatible for young women, but it could be, blazers and things like that. So we work with other organizations that support um, older young women, whether they're, reentering the workforce and things like that. And so we move on those donations to them.
Wow. So how can we support that effort? Are you guys accepting donations, or how can we reach you? Or if you are a young person that are watching this and want to again connect with you, how do you do so?
Yeah, so you can check us out at projectstyle.org, O-R-G, and we will be starting our school year curriculum programming when school starts again, probably around September, October or so. If you have an organization and you would like us to come out and do an event, you can reach out to us at info@projectstyle.org. As I said, we come and we do one-time events, or we can come and do a series of events as well. And then we'll also have some of our recorded content hitting our website soon as well, for people to download. And if you have clothing donations, we do take clothing donations, and we also take magazine donations, because a lot of times, especially toward the end of the year, people are doing vision boards, but we also have our girls do personal ads and reflection boards. So we take magazines and they go through them, cut them up and everything. So if you have uh, suitable magazines hanging around, we would definitely appreciate those contributions as well, and certainly financial contributions. We definitely need that. So feel free to donate to Project Style, and choose Project Style if you shop on Amazon, through Amazon Smile. Please choose Project Style as your nonprofit of choice, and a percentage of all of your purchases. You don't have to do anything extra. You just buy, and then they will contribute a portion of your purchases to Project Style. And that is very, very helpful to us. And I'm sure that many of your corporate employers will also match your donations too. So please donate financially to Project Style as well, so we can keep making sure these girls are the major moving women of the future.
So are you guys doing any? I mean, with the environment, I mean, with our world open up again, are you guys doing any major fundraisers? Because I mean, I love your project style,
Casino night.
fundraisers.
Yes,
Everything from your casino nights. I mean, they was just off the chain. I mean, just like
yes.
ah. So I mean, are you guys planning? I mean, I should say girls. Are you ladies planning? Um, you know, any fundraisers in the future?
Yes, definitely planning some fundraisers in the future. We are looking at some options for a still socially distanced event for later on this year, and hoping that we can bring back a full casino night for 2022. So yes, the in-person fundraisers will definitely be
Those are like literally my favorite. So
back.
what's on the horizon?
Thank you so much. Always.
What's on the horizon for you? What's next? I mean, okay, you didn't wrote books, you did blogs, you didn't created your own line of tea. Oh, I guess tea and water that's coming. I mean, but beyond that, what's next?
um Yeah, I don't know. I want these to get much more traction. So, I want to working on getting the tea in, as many coffee shops near you as possible. So, that's definitely a next step, into a few more stores. Windy City Tea is great, but we want to get into some more stores before we open our brick and mortar. I don't know when that's going to be, but that is still on the list. So looking into that, as well as into restaurants, and of course, more stories for little Valerie. We're gonna keep that series going, definitely. So hopefully, maybe within the next year or so, we'll have adventure number 2 for Valerie.
Okay, well, I want to volunteer me, Mike, and your mom because we looking to retire pretty soon, and so and so and so we'll volunteer to be clerks at the store, at the brick and mortar,
Okay, great,
and security,
great, great.
tea tasters.
Tea tasters. I do need tea tasters. That was one of the pieces I meant to mention, that when I was selecting the flavors, I did have quite a bit of tea tasting going on, whether I was dropping tea off to people or having people over, like, can you taste these? Let me know what you think. And mixing up the flavors. So I get a lot of volunteers for tea tasting and for take your tea up a level recipe tasters too. A lot of people want to try those. So yes, good. I appreciate the volunteerism. Thank you.
Oh man, well listen, we are so proud of you, and as we again close out our time together, again it's been such a joy having you. And we usually end with a motivational moment, motivational minute. So I want to encourage you to just, if you're up for it, to just take about, 30 seconds to a minute or as much time as you need to just, encourage somebody. We're living in you know, really, I think transitional times. I guess I would say
Mhm.
transitional. I used to say, with COVID, but we're transitioning out of that. But yet, we still have some challenges, with violence and with,
Yeah.
political as well as economic, times that are the, um, you know, uh, the side effects, of COVID, right? And so there may be someone here that's on the program tonight that's, that's struggling either, in any of those areas. Do you have any, or maybe there's a young lady that's listening, that just needs a word of encouragement, what would you say to them?
I would definitely say don't give up ever, no matter what, and don't get tired. And you will get tired, but um, and you should take breaks, and you have to stay recharged because get stay charged rather, because you can't pour from an empty cup. But the establishment wants you to get tired. The devil wants you to get tired. Um, and not only do the establishment and the devil and whoever else doesn't want to see you succeed want you to get tired, but they want you to also give up. So like I said, I say don't get tired, but you will. We will all be tired, but you can't give up. You just gotta the same way you charge that phone and keep so you can keep scrolling, recharge yourself and keep scrolling, and just know that when it gets hard, it will also get better. And so just never give up. There's so many forces that want us to give up. Don't do it. Don't do it. And as soon as you want to give up, think again. Just keep pushing. Do not give up ever.
Wow. Thank you so much. Well, you heard it. You've heard it from, again, attorney Victoria Watkins, again, entrepreneur, writer, blogger, and tea and water producer on the horizon. Thank you so very much again. On behalf of your family, we are so proud of you.
Thank
And
you.
man, of the work that you're doing, not only just publicly, but even behind the scenes. You have done us all proud. And so we thank you for the work that you've done. Just be encouraged,
Thank
just be
you.
encouraged and just know your family, you have our support, as well as our prayers and love. And so, again, so for those that would like to reach out to Victoria, you can reach, if you want the book, you can go to, again, uh, Little Valerie, bigworld.com and get the book. You can go to joyandmagic.com again to get her teas, or you can go to, I don't even know how to pronounce it, but it's the BAFFLEDBLOG. She had an acronym for it. But just go there if you again want, legal, fashion, legal, or lifestyle advice from Victoria and or from other, contributing bloggers. Again, please support her. Go to Project Style, also support that, make donations. Again, magazines, new and gently used clothes for these young ladies. Again, continue to support Victoria. Again, you can reach her at any of those addresses. And we're excited. On next Tuesday will be my friend and brother, again, the co-owner actually of Music Next School of Music, will be my friend, Alan Franklin. And again, the best music teacher I've ever had. I'll be chatting with him. He will be our special guest. So again, we want to encourage you to kind of tune in to that. And for those that are listening, again, I am Reverend Dr. Kenneth Phelps, and I am the president and CEO of IMANI Writers Cohort. Listen, there is a book in you, and IMANI would love to help you to get it out. We would take you from ideation all the way to market. All you have to do to get started is go to www.imanywriterscohort.com. Again, imanywriterscohort.com, and read about the IMANI process. And if you're interested and you want to take that next step, go ahead and either fill out the contact us or tell us about your project tab. Again, that's www.imanywriterscohort.com. Again, we want to encourage you to not take that book, that idea, that concept. We want to encourage you to die empty. And when I say that, I'm not really being morbid, but I'm trying to really, really to encourage you to leave it all on the field. I'm trying to encourage you to not take anything, leave a legacy. All right. And so again, let us help you. That's what we're here for. We're here to take you from ideation all the way to market. www.imanywriterscohort.com. Listen, 95% of our writers, 95% of our authors have never written professionally. We have everything that you need, from editors, graphic designers, photographers, even legal counsel. We have everything that you need from ideation to it. And I, personally, walk you through each step through our writing sessions. Again, www.imanywritercohort.com. Again, we want to thank you so much for tuning in to the IMANI Writers Cohort podcast. And again, this has been your host, Dr. Kenneth Phelps. Until next time, remember, without faith, without IMANI, it is impossible. Have a great day.